Welcome to the Buccaneers Observer. This is Ralph Phillips. Man, I tell you what, that was stressful. I was worried that Liam Coen was going to go as the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Hearing all kinds of stuff about he is the one they were looking at out of all the candidates. Well, I think Ben Johnson was number one on their list, but he ended up going to the Bears. What disaster that's going to be. But anyhow, Liam Coen is staying as the offensive coordinator for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They did the smart thing, and we had talked about this. They gave him a bunch of money, and I just now got on Rampage. How's everybody doing? But yeah, we gave him a bunch of money. I think I'm not exactly sure how much yet. Over $3 million though. And to me, it shows not only that the ownership is smart, but they care, and they're doing the right things. They're really trying to keep the team together, But it also shows to me with Liam Coen, he's very wise and patient, which is a really good thing to have in a coach. I think he had that Jaguars head coaching job, just from the sounds of it. Seemed like they were really going in his direction, and he kind of pieced out on it and decided to stay with the Buccaneers and take the money. Now, the head coaching job at Jacksonville probably would have been more money, but I think he was smart. He realized it's not a great organization. And, it would be potentially really bad for the rest of his career, if he wasn't prepared, if he wasn't, sitting behind Bowles or another head coach for at least another year, and, just learning the ways and learning what's good for head coaches. It's one thing to be a coordinator and you got, I've got all these plays and all that, but head coaching is a totally different beast. You've got to deal with different people. You got to be a people manager. You got to be a people person. And, you really got to set the tone for the team. It was the offensive coordinator for the Washington Commanders, Redskins. They were talking to him about another head coaching position, and he said, yes, he wants one. And they asked him about if he had any regrets about when he was head coach at the Cardinals. And he said, yes. He said, I didn't realize how important it was to set a team culture. And he said, that's definitely what I'll do this time. He's watched Dan Quinn and how that's really, and I agree with it, the head coach's job is to set the culture for the team, how the team is going to be. And, Coen, I think it's smart of him to, sit back and decide and figure out and, see all the little nuances and stuff like that. Just jumping like Canales did, jumping from being an offensive coordinator for 1 year, all of a sudden being a head coach, especially to a crappy team with crappy ownership like Canales has done. I don't think it's going to bode well for him. And I think Liam was smart to do this. But selfishly, I'm very happy that he has stayed. How's it going, everybody? Rampage, what's up, brother? We got your snow down here, man. It snowed nice. We got 5 inches. My oldest daughter couldn't go to sleep last night because she was so excited about the snow. And she actually had me go and sleep in her bed with her because it helps her sleep. If she can't sleep, she likes it if somebody else is in there. The poor thing, she went to bed at 10 o'clock. I got up at about 10:20 and came in my office, and she was like, Daddy, I can't sleep. And then, she was like, okay, I'm going to go try to go back to sleep. She went back. Another 10, 15 minutes later, came back out. She did this like 5 times. And finally, she was just like, can you come in there at midnight? She was like, can you come in there and just stay with me for like 10 minutes? So I did. Anyhow, she woke me up at 7 a.m. this morning. It was like Christmas. Woke me up at 7 a.m. this morning. Let's go play in the snow. So I am dead tired. I didn't go to bed till like 3, so anyhow. Yeah, we got your snow, man. Appreciate that. MK, what's going on, brother? Gotti. Is Gotti still in here? I saw it. Molly, hey. Cut Dean for Godwin, MH. Godwin and Tucker, oh, definitely. I mean, if it come down to keeping Dean or keeping Godwin or Tucker, we're cutting Dean. I'm over him. I don't call for people to be cut generally, but I will not be upset. I'm just over Dean. I'm just over him. It's been years and years and years of the same stuff, man. B-Mock, what's up? Hey, hey. Yeah, we did. Yep, lost Spytek. That's right. John Spytek, the assistant general manager. He's going to be the general manager at the Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders. I'm so gray. I haven't had a chance to work on my webcam colors. This is without any filter or anything. It's just this is what I look like without any filter. I'll tell you what I do like. Let me see. This one. Boom, that's pretty cool. I like that. It makes the red pop and everything else is gray. This. Okay. Not going to play around with the colors. We're just going to leave it like it is. Tom, what's up, brother? Happy people. Happy people. Hey, I called you yesterday. You didn't answer the phone, by the way. Yeah, that's right, B-Mock. Yeah, first time Baker's had the same offensive coordinator back-to-back years in his career. Wow, that's going to do great for him, I bet. That's a good point. That's a great point, B-Mock. That is going to, and Mayfield has been playing great anyhow. Imagine what he's going to be like when he's got some consistency. Wow. Wow. We might see some records getting broken. Some more records getting broken. That's a good point, B-Mock. I like that. He put your pick on the neighborhood watch. A crazy school board member. Everybody taking pictures of you shoveling. We get snow like once every 3 years in this area, and a neighbor of ours, or who is, I don't know, Molly was telling me this story, had gotten a snow shovel like 6 years ago and he's never used it. And today he was able to use it. And I was like, yeah, he's probably standing out there holding it over his head. I'm the champion. Dang. That's crazy, Rampage. Uh, Tom, I watched most of it, yeah. I know you were asking me about Sap, and I was like, did I miss something there? I mean, I saw Sap there eating with them and everything. But I was like, man, I must have missed something you were talking about if I had called him. I don't know. Rampage does look shady. Okay, Carlos Boogie Basham. He's an outside linebacker. He played for the Giants the past couple years. He was drafted by the Buffalo Bills, and he's one of the few college players that I watched years ago, and I was like, hey, he's pretty good. I don't think I watched him in college. I saw him in preseason. We were playing. Somehow I ended up watching him at some point on all 22. And I was like, he's pretty good. But he was always a second stringer. With the Giants, he was kind of a rotational guy. But he's with the Panthers now. They signed him. I was like, man, that stinks. He's a pretty decent outside linebacker. He's kind of big for an outside linebacker, though. Casey Rogers, our defensive line coach, has apparently, that was the last year of his contract, and I don't know if he's not getting renewed or they've told him to look for work elsewhere, but he has gone to a number of teams, the Packers and I can't remember who else, somebody else. But he basically looking at their defensive line coordinator jobs. He's interviewing for that. So he's all lateral moves. He's not getting a defensive coordinator job interview. So I don't know what's going on with that. Him and Todd Bowles have been coaching together for decades. He was brought over with Arians and Bowles and all those guys. I mean, but he was Bowles' defensive coordinator at the Jets. Now, this I find very interesting because, I said this, I think it was during the offseason that I saw an interview with some of the defensive guys, and two of them said that Rodgers calls good plays. And I was like, does Roger, they mentioned another, I think it might have been Larry Foote. I said, do they call the defensive plays? And then I got to thinking, Casey Rodgers was the defensive coordinator at the Jets under Bowles. So I wonder, I don't know how it works out, how it works with Todd Bowles. Is he strictly, some coaches are like that where they're like, they take total control over the defense or offense or whatever they are. But then some coaches allow other coordinators and assistants to call plays sometimes and stuff like that. So I just wonder about that with Casey Rodgers. How much of the defense is his? It'd be interesting to know. I'd love to know. I wish we could find out nitty gritty stuff like that. I mean, we will 5 years, 10 years from now after everybody's retired and, you got to catch little snippets here. Somebody might write a book that'll have some information in it or whatever. I just found that interesting. But Casey Rodgers probably will not be our defensive line coach anymore. Wonder what Larry Foote's going to do. His contract's up too. Chris Godwin had a son, Ace Kahlo Godwin, born January 2nd. So congratulations, Mr. Godwin. Mr. and Mrs. Godwin. Did you know the Panthers fired like their whole defensive staff? Well, their secondary coach, their outside linebackers coach, their quality control coach, and possibly others. I'm not sure. So Canales is over there. He's chopping people up, man. Heather, hey! Let's see. The neighborhood watch picture. I gotta see it. Maybe he slept with Todd's wife. Yeah, there you go. That could be. Oh yeah, well, Tom, if we get Sap there, man, we got to bring some food because Sap loves his food. Did you see he was at that the deer hunter? He was just like elbows deep in all their food, man. They had the Alaskan king crab legs and stuff. He was like rah, 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 rah. That's what I thought too, Molly. They're like assistant defensive coordinators or co-defensive coordinators, something. Right, that's what I was thinking too. What if all the blame is not on Bowles, but on Rodgers and Foote? Because they're the ones actually doing all this weird stuff. That's not true. It can't be true. Well, you got to blame Bowles anyhow for it not working. And the buck stops with Bowles. Oh my gosh. I played the Final Fantasy, I think it was Final Fantasy 4, long time ago. I like the new logo better. A number of things. One, they got rid of the comb over. If you look at the skull on the flag, the skull has got a comb over on the old logo. Yeah. But what I really like is the Buccaneers word mark. I love it. I think it's a piece of art. I've said that before, but let me see if I can get an example. I know I got some shirts with it. Yeah, this logo, right, the word mark. I just absolutely love that, man. It's like every time I get Buccaneers stuff now, I try to get it with that word mark. I don't think they market it enough either. But yeah, the old Buccaneers skull. See it? See it? See the comb over? All right, here we go. Yeah, right here. It's one of those things. I pointed it out to Molly years ago, and then she's like, "Why'd you do that?" Now I'll never not be able to see it. No, I didn't know that. I didn't know that, Tom. I figured they knew him at some, to some personal level because he was kind of familiar with him in that video. But yeah, that was a great setup. Uh, you know, they had a van and a trailer there. I don't remember them showing the trailer though to start off because I like halfway through the video I was like, wait a minute, there's a trailer there that they got food with too. So, but the van that was a good idea. Yeah, we're definitely going to plan some good stuff out for the second annual Buccaneers Observer meetup. Yes, I remember when Sap was bitten by the shark. He loves to fish, man. He's a fishing dude. So I know we did not do all 22 with the Redskins game. I like I said, I went through it, just kind of just kind of going. I went through it play by play and just pulled out some stuff, but I really didn't have the stomach to watch it. But we'll do it maybe next week. I'm feeling better. I think I could handle it now. Something though, Shaq Barrett, he played, I think, 5 snaps. Was it 5 snaps? And he only played in the first half. He didn't play any snaps in the second half. And right before the half, he got laid out. And I just wonder if he was just kind of like, man, I don't want to be doing this anymore. That hurt. It was good watching him. I'm gonna bring it up. We'll look at all of Shaq Barrett's 5 snaps. I saw that and went, "Oh my gosh, he's not in football. He's not ready." What's up, Jay Rich? Byron was pass game coordinator. Another guy was run game coordinator. Can't remember his name. You vote in favor of staring at each other, Rampage? Yeah, we'll all just get webcams and just sit here and stare at each other. Now, MK, I don't think David played that well this year. I would actually give him maybe the lowest grade, probably the lowest grade I've ever given to him. He's always played at A level, B plus level. This year I'd give him a solid B minus, man. C plus, B minus. He didn't play well. He had especially at the beginning of the year, he wasn't playing well, missing tackles, not being in position a lot. He was kind of handed the play calling duties, and I think it kind of overwhelmed him. And in this game, in the Redskins game, he didn't play too well. We'll see when we go through the all 22. He didn't play horrible. Don't get me wrong. This is Levante David we're talking about. When I say he didn't play well, I mean he didn't play to Levante David's standards. Cansey, I thought, did pretty good. Vita did pretty good. The biggest disappointments were on defense. Gosh, a lot of people. Winfield, Whitehead, Dean. And I have been seeing in articles with the media, them talking up Logan Hall like he had a great year. And I'm like, no, he had it. He got to like average level now. I mean, he had a few plays here and there, but I would not by any means say that he had a great year. And I've also noticed that all the local media and the coverage people are very pro Todd Bowles. They really like him. He must be friendly with the media. Yeah, our injury situation, it was tough, Speaking of, Detroit, they had pretty much the same situation we did injury-wise. And they didn't last long either in the playoffs. Well, your Redskins whooped them. I mean, whooped them. At least we took it down to the wire. The Detroit Lions got whooped. And, it makes you go, there's something there with the Redskins that we didn't see. I mean, I'm going to chalk it up a lot to coaching. I think they got good coaches over there. And Jaden Daniels has played very well. He reminds me a lot of C.J. Stroud last year, how he was just so calm and collected. Stroud was great last year. He just didn't panic and didn't get flustered. This year, not so much. But Jaden Daniels, I think, has played very relaxed for a rookie, but relaxed for a veteran too. But I think that was a big difference, or a big help to them. The playoffs were definitely not too overwhelming for him. But I swear that, there's just nothing, watching them. I'm just like, there's really not a whole lot here. I'm not seeing. Like when we watched the All-22, I was like, I don't see anything here that makes me scared of them. In our case, I feel like we lost that game. We really shot ourselves in the foot in many different ways. And Detroit probably did the same thing. Don't know. Oh, yes, I did Rampage. I follow a lot of those guys. What I'm looking for is all 22 from just like with the NFL, get like complete games of all 22 so that I can watch the players myself. But yeah, we'll have to, I'll probably reach out to some of them guys and ask where they get their all 22 from. I don't agree with that, Rich. And I've been saying it all year long. I don't think it's a personnel issue. I think it's completely coaching. I mean, we've talked about this to death, but it's just these guys play the scheme. This is a scheme-based defense, and they play the scheme. They're not playing the intent of the scheme. They are playing the rule of the scheme. They go to the spot they're supposed to go to, and they kind of just stand there. they're not doing what the intent of the scheme is. They are following the letter of the law, you know, and I think it's hurt them. They're covering grass a lot. They're not pulling with guys. They don't follow guys. They don't attack their zones aggressively. Just, everybody's too scared to not be where they're supposed to be. It seems like to me anyhow. And I think I don't care who you get in there. It's just going to be that way. Because Todd Bowles is a clipboard carrier, man. Yeah, I definitely. I mean, like Rampage has pointed out, Bowles his whole career has had very bad pass defense. And it's like his pass defense is predicated on getting sacks through blitzes. He's not getting sacks through the front four. And unfortunately, he'll blitz a lot and then have our secondary playing 10 yards off in coverage. So the quarterback could just throw it to anybody. There's generally 3 or 4 guys open out there. So, he might be getting pressured, but quarterback's just able to just throw it. That's how I feel too, Rich. I think that teams have caught on to Todd Bowles' defense, although I don't think it's possible to really uh, understand his defense. I don't even think he really understands it. I mean, honestly think that he pulls numbers or pulls plays out of a hat. He's got some type of randomized play system because he'll call plays sometimes that don't make any sense for the down and distance and the situation. But I think that what they've learned is that whatever you see pre-snap, totally ignore it. And don't worry about the secondary playing aggressive. And we saw it all year long where quarterbacks were throwing right at our guys, man. I mean, there would be a guy standing right there and the quarterback would just act like he wasn't even there. And they would just throw it. There was a play a couple weeks ago. I think it was the Saints game. We had 2 guys that were standing 5 feet away from each other, and Rattler threw the ball right in between them. I mean, they both stuck their arm out and kind of crossed up, but the ball just went right through them. And that's a perfect example. Now, any sane quarterback would not make that throw because it would have been an interception. But with our defense, you can do that because our guys are just so worried about being where they're supposed to be that they're not thinking about what the intent of them, why they're there. So we just saw it all year long. I was pointing it out how we'd have guys in coverage and they'd have their back turned to the quarterback, and the quarterback would just throw it and it'd zing right past their helmet. Or he would throw it right where they were at. If they would have just turned around and looked like they're supposed to do, they could have just stopped and had an interception. So is this David's last season? I hope not. I hope not, man. But we don't know. He even said, he was asked that, and he was like, he's not going to make a decision yet. I bet you wouldn't say that to Sap's face, Tom. He'll throw you off the boat. Yeah, well, yeah. I've thought, hey, Joe, what's up, man? I thought about that too, Rampage. They did the same thing with Lovie Smith, where they just wouldn't say anything bad about him. You know, And when everybody started calling for his head, they were like, no, no, no. These were the same people that, ganged up on Shiano, started calling for him to be fired like 2 weeks into the season. No, I think the first week. Did we do the kneel down play the first week and everybody couch fainted over that? Well, there you go, Joe. Yeah, they're all gone. I was surprised. I was surprised at how quickly they just all got wiped out. The Packers. I thought the Packers were going to lose. Minnesota, I figured they would lose to Detroit, but I didn't think they'd get so humiliated. What, they have about 9 sacks or something? Oof. Yeesh. I definitely did not expect the Commanders to go this far. Not at all. I didn't expect them to beat us, but he does. Scott Reynolds hates Casey Rogers. I didn't know that. Hey, what's up, Corey? What's good with you, man? We all here celebrating Liam Coen staying with the Buccaneers. I'm very happy about that. Very happy. And I appreciate you watching for 2 years, man. Good stuff. We are very happy about that. We've been sweating it like all year long. We were like, we know he's going to get head coaching offers. And then when the Jacksonville, he had the interview with Jacksonville, and then it came out that he, let me see, at first it seemed like they were going to go with somebody else. And I think they did want Johnson from Detroit, but he ended up going to the Bears. So then they were like, second next best guy is Liam Coen. I was like, no. So the Bucs, hats off to the Bucs ownership, man. Hats off to them. They have made so many good moves over the past decade, to really try and get this team consistently good. I think that was a great move by them. Great move. Yeah, I think we do that every week, Rampage, right? Look up the past 10 years of Bowles pass defense. Exactly, Joe. Exactly. Yes. But we won't do it. Our guys will not do it. They will not go out of their zone. And they won't attack guys that come into their zone. They'll kind of, it's like they're being coached to keep everything in front of you. So they'll stay in front of guys and they'll leave them open. And it just drives me crazy, man. I'm used to seeing, when somebody's coming into your zone, you attack them. You go for them. We just don't do that in this defense. Yeah. Somebody was talking about that earlier. Who was it? Brought that up. BMOC was talking about how this will be the first time Mayfield has had the same offensive coordinator 2 years in a row. That's awesome, man. I mean, that's great. That's amazing. It's a testament to Mayfield for sure. But it's, as good as Liam did this year, getting those guys to understand this offense and just play as well as they did under it. And it's not a simple offense. It's not the most complex offense, but it's not simple. And it's not the Canales high school level football. But, he got them playing great, especially our offensive line, like right off the bat, week one. And, I can only imagine how good they're going to be next year. Mayfield's he probably won't even know what to do to not have to learn a new playbook. Just imagine how good he's going to be to having the same playbook for the first time in 2 years in a row. I think he's going to break some records next year. I've seen a couple Spy Tech presses. Yeah, yeah, he's a good speaker. Oh my gosh, Joe, it would drove me crazy this year. It really seemed to be worse than most years. I mean, but gosh, our defense just wouldn't even look at the quarterback. You know, they were always chasing the guy or running to their spot with their back turned to the quarterback, and it drove me crazy. Especially at the beginning of the year. The beginning of the year was really bad for like the first 7 games. Oof. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how Spytech does. Yeah, a lot of people were torn with Warren Sapp, even when he was with the Buccaneers. I didn't really like him at first either, but he wore on me or grew on me. He grew on me. But that Buccaneers team just had so many awesome players. You know, Sapp was kind of like fifth on my list. I definitely appreciate the heck out of him now. Yeah, yeah, I think they do, Rich. I think they do. I don't think in his contract they stipulated that, or would we even know? I don't know. Like the Patriots did with Mail, but I imagine they promised him, you know, that he would get the head coaching position, which is great, man. This is great. Gosh, I don't think we've ever had that where we've got our next coach on staff and we know it. We're set at the coaching position for a decade, man. I'm happy about it. I was so worried. I was so worried that he was going to leave. I said it a million times. It would have been the worst decision in the long term I think the Buccaneers would have ever made if they would have let him go. Because I think he's going to be a great head coach, man. And I think he did the smart thing by staying another year and learning. KJ Britt, a quality NFL linebacker? No. I mean, I maybe average, a little below average, maybe. All dependent on the scheme. I think he could have done. I think he could do well in something different than what we're playing. Do okay. I think he could hold his own a little bit. Tom runs his or yeah, to cut down on turnovers. I went back and watched all of Mayfield's interceptions this year. Most of them were his fault. You get a lot of times with quarterbacks where it'll be the receiver's fault where they missed the ball, tipped up. He had some of that, and tipped at the line and stuff like that. But the Mayfield's most of his were really poor decisions. Throwing into double coverage or triple coverage. A lot of it was trying to get the ball to Mike. Rich, I don't know if we're ever going to have to worry about the Panthers. I think their owner is, he's another Dan Snyder / Jerry Jones, just interfering too much, thinks he knows too much about football. He won't let football people do football stuff. And he ain't got no patience. Uh, but that Bryce Young, he is just not good quarterback. You know, I think they did the right thing, benched him, and when they brought him back, I was like, oh man. And we looked to see if he improved any, but I don't think he did. I think they just taught him if you don't feel good during the play, just throw the ball away because he was throwing the ball away constantly when there were wide open receivers on the field. It was weird. He's just not a very good quarterback, I don't think. He can't read the field. He's got the ugliest ball. It wobbles. He doesn't really throw a good spiral. I mean, even he threw some good deep balls, but they were ugly. I mean, they were like wobbling like this. He's small. He's gonna get hurt. I don't know. I don't think we're gonna have to worry about the Panthers for a while. Falcons, though, it's possible they might be dangerous. It all depends on if Raheem Morris doesn't implode the team. Gotti, what's up, man? Good bruise? It was a day of good news, man. I was thrilled to death. Molly sent me the link, and I was just like, woo! Very happy. It's like, I get to do a live stream tonight. I was going to do one last night, but the girls were in my office, and I couldn't run them out. Well, how long does Bulls have left on his contract? 2 years? They might buy him out at the end of next year, put Liam in. I'm just happy we got him for another year. I think he's going to be here forever. Thanks, Tom. I appreciate that, man. You good people. No, I think we're going to be division favorites this year, Joe. I think we surprised so many people, which is funny because all of us, we were all like, we're going to be a 10-win team. And, it was right around there. And the national people weren't giving us any goodness. And we did about what we expected to do. Although we did expect to go deeper in the playoffs. But I think this year, everybody's looking at the Buccaneers going, oh, they're pretty good. That Mike Evans guy's pretty good. That Mayfield guy, he can sling the football. Oh, I didn't even think about that, Gotti. Yes, he did. Yeah, that's all right. And Tom Brady's, he's part owner there, right? Doesn't he got like a 10% stake? I don't like that. I don't like all these teams selling off ownership, so now it's not like just, Davis owns it. Now it's 5 different owners. I think it was Miami was the first one to do that, where they had like 5 different owners. But like all the teams are doing it now, where they're selling off to, I talked about it at the beginning of the year. What? They're selling off to these groups. And ownership voted on it this year in the offseason and said that you could sell up to 20%, I think it was. I can't remember. Anyhow, I don't like it. Tom. Yeah, that's why I don't like him. I've got a short person bias. Yes, Corey. Yeah, good eye, man. Yeah, I want to do that. I've been meaning to do it all year long, but now in the offseason, I'm definitely going to do it. But compare his footwork and fundamentals, his platform, his throwing motion, everything this year from last year. Because they said during the offseason that that's something they were going to focus on with him. And I didn't really pay much attention to it, but obviously it helped, He always had that thing with his left foot, his front foot, where he would turn it sideways and throw almost perpendicular across it, instead of turning it, facing it where he's going to throw. That always bothered me. But I didn't notice it as much this year, so that's probably something they worked on. But yeah, I mean, he was playing some of these games. He played very elite. So just the fact that he'll be able to just focus on quarterbacking and not having to learn a new playbook, yeah, that's going to be great, man. I think Bowles will retire after next year, Rampage. Savassier. Dennis Savassier. Yeah, he was looking good at the beginning of the year. I didn't feel like he was a thumper though, but he's that lean, athletic build that Bowles likes. Savassier. I think Vi Jones did pretty good, and I don't know, I think everybody did all right. I mean, KJ Britt had a rough time. He really did. Not gonna lie. There's a lot of improvement I'd like to see everywhere. Uh, I think J.J. Russell did pretty good. Uh, Gosh, we got a lot of guys in free agency. Oh, Chris Godwin, Ben Bredesen, Sterling Sharp, Justin School, Sua Opeta, Robert Hainsey, Kyle Trask, Royce Newman, Chase Edmonds. We'll probably let him go, huh? Don't need him anymore. William Golston, Greg Gaines, Eric Banks, Tryon, Anthony Nelson, Levante David, KJ Britt, Shaq Barrett, Bryce Hall. That was a big disappointment, Bryce Hall. Our injuries. Ryan Neal, Tavier Thomas. I think he did great. I'd really like to see us bring him back. Mike Edwards, Troy Hill. That is a lot of free agents. He should be released immediately, KJ Britt. I don't know, man. You know how I am. I just get anybody that's on the team, I just like them automatically. Same here, Gotti. I thought he did good last year, and I was like, he'll be fine replacing Devin White. Boy, that was a disaster, wasn't it? Yeah, he didn't. He didn't. He played a lot like he was scared or confused. He was missing his assignments, horrible in coverage, didn't tackle well. Don't know. When Godwin is your check down, good things will happen. Man, it's hard to believe at the beginning of the year until he got hurt. He was the leading receiver in the league. What could have been? Huh. MH, what's up, man? Oh, congratulations to Tom. First place in the score predictions. MH, you got second place. And Rampage, you got third. So Tom got 5 wins. MH got 4. Rampage, you got 3. So congratulations, guys, man. Good season. Good season. Bucky Irvin, fantasy favorite next year. Yeah, he will be. He'll be top 5. I don't know, man. Running backs really made a comeback this year. I mean, it was the weirdest offseason because all these elite running backs just like switched teams. And then they all just went off. It was amazing. I'm very happy to see that. I love the running game. But the running game, running backs made a comeback this year. I still think Bucky Irvin will be a top 5 pick in fantasy football for running backs. Yeah, I know, got it. Yeah, they lost both their coordinators. Let's see, Johnson, he's the head coach of Chicago, and then Glenn is where he's head coach at. No, come on, brain. I gotta look it up now. Yeah, Detroit's gonna be a different team next year. Is it the Jets? No, he went to the Jets. Yeah. Wow. And there's a few teams I just wouldn't touch if I was going to be a head coach. Man, Jets are one of them. Bears are another one. Jaguars. They just and the Panthers. It just seems like their owners are really, really don't know what they're doing or don't care. So I've always with the Jets, it just seems like they've never just really cared. We got to watch Liam's offense bail out Bowles and yet another year. Man, hopefully he'll do something. I will say that about Bowles is, he changes his defense quite a lot from year to year, but normally every 2 years, 3 years, he's got like big changes he does. Like I remember last year, not 2024, 2023, he had that, we called it the Red Rover defense, and he didn't play it that much this year. And, the whole, dropping outside linebackers back into coverage. First year he was here, didn't do it that much. And every year he's kind of increased it. That's how he does it. Play man zone, stuff like that. The pre and post snap changes. Of course, his blitz packages. That's always weird. Their line, the Chiefs line judge is their key player. That's funny. Yeah, like we were talking about, Tom, man. So many people are just so frustrated with that. They a lot of people are saying they're not going to watch NFL anymore because it appears to be too set up. The Chiefs are getting too much of a helping hand. Of course, you get that every year, but this has been going on for quite a few years, and I think people are just tired of it. The referee sees the field well. Uh, yeah, I think Greenberg's staying. I haven't heard anything about him. I, I didn't he have an interview, but then other than that, I haven't heard anything about it. Yeah, I think Mock improved. I know some of you guys, Craig. Craig doesn't like him. Where's Craig at, by the way? Oh, he's probably under 7 feet of snow. Rampage doesn't like him, all that. But I think Mock has improved greatly from last year to this year. I mean, I would say of everybody on the field, he was the most improved. He's still got a ways to go, but his improved last year. I was like, I didn't think he was going to be a starter this year. He played so bad last year. Gedeke has just really turned into a solid right tackle, man. That is so amazing too, because at left guard, he was horrible. He was just too. He's got that wide stance, and he was always getting his feet caught up with the center and the left tackle, and he just didn't understand leverage over there. So what's up, Double? It's good to see you, man. Yeah, yeah, that's right. Tampa Bay was one of those teams, man. In the free agents we used to get, they would just come here and just it was like a vacation for them. Used to drive me crazy. I remember that guy uh, when Lovey Smith came. He ended up getting a bunch of Bengals players that came, and they all stank. They had that. We had that outside defensive end, Johnson. He was horrible. And then we had an offensive lineman who was horrible. I mean, the defensive end, the guy never even tried. I don't even know if he ever made a single tackle. It was horrible. But yeah, we were always having free agents that would just come here, collect a paycheck, go on vacation. I hated it. But yeah, nobody wanted to be the coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom, I was going to get a like a big graphic and everything, and I actually spent like an hour doing it and never finished it. Story of my life. First place, second place, third place. If she's going to be loaded next year, yeah. Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised at how many good teams we had this year. Minnesota popping off all those wins. That surprised me. When they got Sam Darnold, because I've been saying this since Sam Darnold came in the league. He's just a horrible quarterback. And he surprised the crap out of me this year. I still don't think he's a good quarterback. I think they just had a system that worked with him. And then Detroit getting all those wins, and then Philadelphia getting all those wins, and it was just wild. A lot of teams I didn't think were going to be that good, like the Rams. I mean, they kind of came out of nowhere. It started off really crappy and then just got really good at the end. Yeah, you tied a couple times, Tom, and I was like, maybe I should do a half a point for a tie. But you still would have had 4 wins, which would have tied you with MH. So that would have been, I would have had to figure out something there. So I was like, I'll just give you credit for winning. That's a good point there, Gotti. It might have been a good thing that Godwin got hurt because now we can afford him. Don't know if anybody's going to want to pay what he's worth now. So we might be able to get him relatively cheap. I don't know. Super Bowl or bust next year. I like that mentality. But I don't know. I think it all depends. All depends what we do in the offseason and the draft. I think we definitely got some holes we need to fill. Coaching now. Got to do something with that coaching, man. That back end of our defense is just anemic. But I think they'll address it. But yeah, we are a young team, man. We got many years of good football ahead of us. Yeah, double. He's every year since 2020, he's dropped outside linebackers more and more and more and more. And I said it probably in 2021. I was very frustrated because, Shaq Barrett, 19 and a half sacks in 2019, right? And then every year he started getting lower and lower and lower. Never really got back to that elite level. And a large part of it was because Todd Bowles kept dropping him back into coverage. It started off, like around 15%, and then 20%, and then 25%. And I counted almost 30% in his last year, the last full year before he got hurt. I think it was like right around 28%. It was a ridiculous amount. Ridiculous. But yeah, you kind of have to do it in the, 4-3 defense or 3-4 defense. You got to drop at least one every now and then, but he just does it too much. Also, Greenberg had an interview with the Jets. Yeah, I saw he had an interview, but then I haven't heard anything about it since. Kate and Clark sitting with his sister saying, I hear you, brother. Oh, that was funny. Oh, I love the chrome face mask, Corey. I'm with you on that one. I did love the chrome face mask. Yes. Yes. It's one thing I wish they would have kept, man. Yeah, no, I think they should go back to it permanently. I love the chrome face mask. Yeah, the Chiefs game was very, very frustrating. They do just treat him like he's made of glass and they've got to protect him at all costs. And I'm sure they'd have. I don't know. I don't know. Y'all know how I feel about the refs. I would like more transparency. How do we know these guys aren't? I mean, what safeguards are there? There's never been in the history of the NFL. There's never been a referee scandal. It's the only national sport where there hasn't been a referee scandal. What? And now there's all this gambling involved, legalized gambling, and the NFL's. I don't know, man. I don't know what. I'd like to see more transparency on how they do things. It's like the whole hip drop tackle crap this year. They said they were going to make it a point of emphasis, and then they didn't throw a single flag for it all year long. But then they were fining people. But then when the people uh, appealed, they were winning on an appeal. So now everybody's just confused as to what. It doesn't make any sense. There's way too many rules. Y'all know. Y'all know. I complain about it all the time. Jags have to replace Balky. Who's that? Caitlin Clark is a coward. I don't. I've never watched a full game of WNBA in my life. Every time I've tried to watch it, it's just like watching high school basketball. You're just kind of like, eh. It's, it's hard to watch. Yeah, yeah, Tom. Yeah, Mahomes is used to getting calls, so he like after every play will uh whine to the refs, and look at them, be like, that's something me and Molly talk about that all the time. But I went back and looked at 1999 games and looking at how players never used to do that. They never like tried to get the refs to throw flags. And another thing is, I was looking at like the differences in the way players act is they didn't go for the knees. I remember growing up watching football that going for the knees was considered a cheap shot. Now guys tackle at the knees all the time. It's standard tackling procedure now. I mean, they will dive at your knees. They used to not do that. But yeah, the whole crying to the refs for penalties. Mahomes is definitely, but he usually gets them though. That's the thing. It was a hard schedule, Joe. Especially when you consider all the people that went to the playoffs and the teams that we won, that we beat. What's up, Joe? Rashad, what's up? Blues Miller, man. Oh, everybody's coming in. Oh, it's a great, great. Great news, Joe. Very happy about the I'm looking at this gifted the membership thing. What is it? Gifted 5 Buccaneers Observer memberships. Oh, that's cool. That's cool, Joe. I didn't even know that could happen. That's pretty cool, man. You good people. Yes, very, very happy with Coen staying. I've been sweating it. I've been sweating it. And then it's a great. It's worked out perfect. Buckin, what's up, man? Man, everybody's coming in. Uh, it shows a lot of wisdom and patience on Cone's part that he's going to stay for another year and basically intern behind Bowles, just so he could see more how to be a head coach, because I mean, he would have made more money most likely going and being a head coach at Jacksonville, but he decided to stay with the Bucs, get that learning in. I bet. I love it. I think it's great, man. Very happy with it. Yeah, yeah. Matt Stafford and Sean McVay, they are a dangerous duo. I think Sean McVay is just dangerous. He's one of those coaches that it's gonna be a fight every time you go against him. Did I say I was gonna do something nice for the prediction winners? I don't remember that. Yeah, I'd be okay with drafting mostly defense too. Definitely. I say that I don't think it was a personnel problem, but man, it would be so nice to have some monster cornerbacks. I like McCullum. Uh, he's definitely improved a lot, and I think Izzian has done pretty good. But I'd like to have some shutdowns or some guys that go after the ball, man. Pay Brock Purdy 60 million? Woo! I don't know, man. I don't know. Brock Purdy's pretty good. 60 million though. You talking about 60 million a year? Or 60 million over 4 years? That would be cool. I would do that. Yes, yes. Yeah, I 100% do double. I do. And I think our outside linebackers get very frustrated about it because, they're having to drop back so much on passing downs, and they're not able to get those stats. Uh, and, everybody complains about, our outside linebackers, Yaya Diaby and Tryon and all those guys, just not getting any sacks. A lot of it has to do with their having to go back in coverage all the time. And they do, Roger, and they do do a lot of contain. A lot of times they're told not to rush, contain. So I think they get very frustrated. I could definitely see, uh, elite outside linebackers going, yeah, no, I don't want to play in that system. I'm not going to get any stats. No. Yeah, and you would think Tryon would be a lot better back in coverage or, better as a pass defender because he's, lighter and leaner, but he's not. Yeah. Yeah, Miles Garrett. That's the thing with JPP. I said when Bowles first got here, he didn't drop the outside linebackers back in coverage a lot because JPP was here. JPP I guarantee you, he was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not, I'm not a cornerback. And I just know, coaching staff, everybody was scared of JPP. You know, and so Bowles was like, yeah, okay, I won't drop you back in coverage that much. I've always got plans. That's my theory too. That is my theory too, Joel. Wow, man, I've fallen way behind in chat. I need to make that bigger. It used to be bigger. That little banner down there. Man, now I've lost my place where I was at in chat. I can't believe I've fallen so far behind. I just get here and start running my mouth. Okay. Who is it? Is it the Bills and Chiefs this weekend? Again? I think it's funny the Redskins and the Eagles are going to be playing each other. Division rivals. The Titans have the number one pick in the draft? I didn't know that. Yeah, so Bills Chiefs, man. Bills have got to beat them. They got to. How many times have the Chiefs knocked the Bills out of the playoffs? Ugh. And I can't see the Commanders beating the Eagles, but dang. I couldn't see them beating us, and I definitely couldn't see them beat Detroit, and they do. They whooped Detroit. They curb stomped them. Yeah, that's very, very aggravating, Tom, about the Chiefs. Yeah, those the offensive tackle, right offensive tackle is so annoying. I said the third place. Oh, you're a Jags fan, Jeremy? Yeah, McCollum does hold quite, but you know he's the most aggressive cornerback we got by far. Yeah, 7 interceptions is just that's that's dog crap, and most of them probably were not even cornerbacks. I mean, I think we had a couple years ago we only had 3 interceptions by our cornerbacks. We don't teach them to play, you know, to go after the ball. Yeah, yeah. Baker took a lot more punishment than Mahomes did, and never got flags. He got flagged. It might have been the Saints game, which was a legit flag. I mean, he just got clobbered. But most of the time they wouldn't, which is weird because Mahomes scrambles a lot more than Mayfield. I don't know, man. Yeah, you know the refs have got to be a little scared, you know, because the Chiefs are the anointed team. I mean, good grief. Could you imagine being a ref in a Chiefs game, you throw a flag against them, and you get all the Swifties mad at you? Your daughter's probably mad at you. Dad. Rampage, you know I had plans to do merch last off season. Yeah, it's all in the works. It's just finding time and getting the gumption to do it. We'll get around to it, man. Yes, 100%, Roger. I'm done with Dean. I'm just tired of him. I'm tired of his coverage. I'm tired of him getting hurt all the time. You know, and he's done that ever since he's been here. I don't think he's played a full season yet. I'm just tired of it. I don't call for guys to get cut often, and I'm not saying cut him. I'm tired of him. I won't be mad if he's gone. And I was a huge Dean fan. Huge. I thought he had so much potential, man, and he's just done nothing with it. Oh yeah, and Goff is so small. Every time he gets clobbered, I'm just like, oh man. Molly calls him the Ryan Gosling. What does she call him? Discount Ryan Gosling. Every time, ever since she said that, I was like, yep, he looks just like Ryan Gosling. Bills Eagles Super Bowl. Yeah, that's what I think too. But both Kansas City and the Commanders, they've got those rabbit foots, man. Bills versus the Swifties. And we didn't have any pick sixes this year. Yeah, that's crazy, Joe, man. Whitehead was such a disappointment this year. I was so excited to bring him back. All of our safeties played bad. I mean, even Winfield. I don't know what was going on in that room, but they just couldn't get their garbage together. What's your breaking news, Tom? To George R. Martin of Bucs fandom. Yeah, I'll get right now. Now I feel really bad. That's like a horrible insult. I had to do it. It's very confusing, double. They're probably the worst performing group, and they always have been since Balls has been here, is our cornerbacks, and that's how he came up through the league. Bowles was a quarterbacks coach, and you're like, maybe his style of coverage for quarterbacks is just way outdated or something. I don't know. But yeah, they've always been the worst performing group on the field, which again makes you go, it should be the exact opposite. You know, never get wins a winner. I know. I know. That is so wild, man. I mean, did he just? I mean, the theory, what everybody says is he's just like hookers of coke. He's like, I don't ever have to work again. I'm never going to. So, it is what it is. You get guys like him, and then you get guys like Stephen King, who kicks out of 3 books a year. It's weird. I mean, that's going to be Martin's legacy. He's the author that never finished. Well, yeah, it looks like Casey Rogers is going to be gone. Defensive line coach. I don't know. I just don't know how the coaching situation it works over there. Do they? Like I said, the defensive guys said that Rogers and Foot call plays. How much of it is Bowles? How much of it is coordinators? I don't know. I don't know. But we do know Bowles does not have any problem with firing people. He's not like Bruce Arians. He's not loyal to his people. He's not a coach guy. He's a clipboard carrier. Are those the 3 types of coaches? You got players coaches, you've got coaches, and you got clipboard carriers. Is a rah rah guy a player's coach? Let's do that. Let's say those are the four types of coaches. You got the rah rah coaches, you've got the player coaches, you've got uh, the clipboard carriers, and then you've got what was the fourth one? No carriers, player coaches. Oh. Season 8, it gave it. Oh my gosh, I am like one of the very few people. Now, the last episode of Game of Thrones was horrible. We can all agree on that. But I did like the ending. I thought that having Khaleesi go off and basically snap, I thought that was great. Everybody else hated it. I thought it was great. But yeah, that last episode was horrible. Most shows, the last episode is garbage. But very few shows have ended very well. Uh, 6 Feet Under was by far the best series ending episode. There was also, gosh, what was the name of it? Where 2% of the people disappeared off the planet. That was a great show. Anyhow, right? Yeah, that would make sense, Joe. Just have somebody ghostwrite it. Yeah. Is that the breaking news, Tom? You go try to take credit for that mess. I like Foot though. That's the problem, MH. I like him as a person, and he's the kind of coach. He's that gritty coach that I like, kind of in your face. I'm trying to remember the four types of coaches we said. Bowles is too loyal to players. Yes, he definitely has guys that he likes no matter what. The Dean's one of them. Dean, he just loves Dean. Did the same thing with Devin White. He let Devin White get away with way too much. And I read that it was kind of a point of contention between him and Light. It was Light that got rid of Devin White. Bowles didn't want to get rid of Devin White. That is what I heard. Elizabeth Woodville, the White Queen of England. Oh, I couldn't stand Daenerys Rampage. She she annoyed me so much. And then when she snapped, I was just like, yes. I thought it was a great that they should have ended it right there. And then they had that last episode. It was like, oh, that was so horrible. Yeah, the ending to Fringe was good too. The Shield, I never watched that series. Leftovers, yeah, that was the name of that show where like 2% of the population of the planet just disappeared. That was a good ending there. But 6 Feet Under, by far, best ending to a series ever. What is the best ending? The best thing about the Game of Thrones of I loved Tyrion. I didn't like it when he got serious though. I thought it was cool when he got involved into the war strategy and all that. But the last couple seasons, I didn't like his character as much because he kind of dropped the humor. He was funny. Yeah, that Kumbaya last episode was horrible with Game of Thrones. It was hard to watch. It was so pandering. Sarah C was pretty cool. She was like, I liked her in the sense that she was such a badass. Double. It's called Leftovers. Yeah, great show, man. It's really good acting. Cool story too. But the ending was just exactly everything you want in a ending finale. Is that what he did, Corey? That would make sense if he heard he saw how bad the ending of the Game of Thrones was, and he was just like, yeah, never mind, I'm out. Yeah, there's the fifth type of coach. We need to write. I'm going to write these down. The coattail riders, coattail riders, clipboard carriers. Um, rah rah. When I say rah rah coaches, I guess I could put the gritty coaches in there, like Dan Campbell. He's kind of a rah rah coach, right? The gritty coaches, we'll put them in with the rah rah coaches. Uh, Player coaches and coaches, yeah. Like Bruce Arians is a coach. He didn't give a crap about the players. Kind of see like Bill Parcells, he was kind of a coach. Reminded you of some of your exes. You're just lucky they didn't have dragons, right? Oh, I hated Bran. Sopranos, no way, man. That was the boringest ending. I liked it, you know, but probably the worst was Lost. Oh gosh. Oh, Rome was great. I was so upset they didn't do any more seasons. I loved that show. No, I have not watched The Blacklist. Was it good? Wonder Years is your favorite show? Hey, Kate. Yeah, where you been? What about Elton John? Rockin' Man. And you know what I really hated about Game of Thrones was all those build up to the fight with the Ice Walkers, and it was all just over like that when that little girl stabbed him with the knife. I was like, really? All those seasons of this big battle, which the battle was kind of cool for a while, and then it was just over. I was like, what? What's up, Bucking? Delegator coaches? Yeah, like McCarthy. He's a delegator coach, man. I was so wild with Dallas. Who somebody wanted to interview McCarthy and they said no, and then they let him go like a week later. I was like, that was weird. They just couldn't come to terms with contract. I don't remember Spartacus. Heck yeah, Liam Stam. Bucket, we'll re-talk about it, man. That's what the show's about, right? Yeah, very excited about it. I was very happy today. It made my day. It's been a good day. It's been a very good day. Uh, like I was saying, there's a lot to really be excited about with it. Well, for one, it really goes to show that the ownership knows what they're doing. You know, they didn't let him walk. They didn't shoot themselves in the foot. They didn't shoot the fan base in the face. They did the right thing. And they let it play out very well. So, that's exciting. Ownership's still in it. And it's very exciting that Liam took the offer, because it shows wisdom, patience, and that he likes Tampa. He's going to do the right thing. And, we talked about it all year that, the right thing for him to do would be to stay as an assistant for another year at least, just to get the experience and to, kind of intern underneath a head coach to see how things run and what he would do different and all that good stuff. I think it was a very smart move on everybody's part. I'm very happy with it. Very happy with it. Just goes to show we got a good, smart organization. I like it. And this could be, a decade of good football. For the first time that I can remember, we basically have a succession. I don't think the Buccaneers have ever had that before. Well, we've got, when Todd Bowles is gone, Liam's going to get the job. I think they probably offered him that. Kind of. I don't know if they put it in his contract, but they, they said, "Hey, look, we want you to be head coach here eventually." So, that's exciting, man. It's very exciting. And plus, Baker Mayfield, like everybody's pointed out, this is the first time he's ever had the same offensive coordinator for 2 years in a row. So he doesn't have a new playbook to have to learn. It's just great. It's great. I'm so excited about it. Okay, yeah. Yeah, 100%. That's exactly how I haven't been live streaming. I did after we lost for a couple of days, and I was like, man, I'm just kind of sad. So I'm gonna go back off, take a little mini vacation, and when I was gonna live stream yesterday, but the girls were in the office, so I wasn't able to kick them out. But when Leo signed today, I was just like, oh, I get the live stream, yes. Brought me back, man. Brought me back. So I'm with you 100% on that one, Kate. 220. LMH started getting this 2025 prediction. Oh, that reminds me. Yeah, we did predictions on the record. Here we go. Ralph, 10-7. Ralph, 10-7, guys. That Ralph guy seems to know what he's talking about, huh? I think we should give that Ralph guy an award or something. Uh, let me pull this up so y'all can see it. MK said 17-0. That's what his mind says, but his heart says 13-4, and we would be Super Bowl champions. Kate said Canales will keep his job for 2 more years. I said he will be out by November of 2025. And Molly says December 2024. So Molly, you're out of that one. Okay, so Jason said 12-5. Al went 8-9. Craig said 10-6 because a disaster shortens the season by one game for all teams. Craig just got to be weird. Ilm H, 9-8. Kate said 11-6. Rampage said 10-7, and Molly said 10-7. So Ralph, Rampage, and Molly, we all got it. We were spot on. Good job, everybody. So Kate, me and you are still in the Canales getting fired running. Hey, did you see that Rampage, did you see that Mel Gibson is doing another like a sequel to The Passion of the Christ? Harbaugh's the delegator? Yep, yep, yep. Good call. Yeah, that would have been cool if they would have done that. I read a book series called Casca. I think that was the name of it. That was really cool about uh, this Roman soldier. He was the one who poked Jesus in the side with the sword, and he became immortal. Like the blood of Jesus got on him, and he became immortal. He couldn't die, and it was like horrible. Uh, it was not a good thing, and it's like his escapades throughout time. It was pretty. It was a pretty cool series. Yeah, four offensive coordinators in 4 years would have been brutal. But Mayfield, he kind of thrives under the. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Baker's 10th offensive coordinator, so he's had nine so far. That's in, that is amazing that he's even survived in the league that long. Nine different offensive coordinators. Wow. I don't remember Little House on the Prairie's last episode. MASH last episode was pretty good. I don't think Trask is coming back. I don't know. I don't know. Really, I really have no. But who else do we have? We got another year to run Bowles out of town. Pratt should be the backup. Oh yeah, good point, Buck. And yeah, good point. Yep, 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 yep. A Rooney Rule would make it so they can't do. Yeah, so they. Yeah, yeah. Good point. Didn't even think about that. Yeah, they can't do that legally, huh? Huh. But they could with Mayo in New England. Oh man. Uh, yeah, if Baker gets a goes as an alternate, um, I'll probably watch the all the good the Pro Bowl stuff this year. That's my favorite part about it is watching the quarterbacks do the competitions. That's true. That's a good point there too, Double. Oh man, Kate. Yeah. It happens to me every year. When the season is over, I'm just like it usually ends on a bad note, and I'm just like, oh, what do I do with life now? You can ask Molly. Usually for got a few weeks, I'll be kind of just like a zombie. I always call it my hibernation period. After the season's over, I go into hibernation. But it's like the exact opposite because I start socializing more with other people because when it's football season, I'm like this. You know, I don't socialize with people as much. So it's like the exact opposite of hibernation, but it's like my soul and my mind is hibernating. How about that? I thought you live in situation. I thought you got a place that you were going to be pretty permanent with for a while. Yeah, yeah. Not having to learn a new playbook. That's a huge thing, man. Because that takes a lot of time, a lot of resources. Yeah, I'll do it, Rampage, man. I will get t-shirts and stuff this year. I'll do it. Just stay on top of me, man. You should like text me once a week. You talking about for next year, Rich? 13-4? We should have been 11-6. I didn't watch that episode on Joe Rogan. I just saw clips from it. It's the Book of Mormon. Yeah, I don't. I think they're going to do the Acts of the Apostles. I think that's what he said, right? That's funny though. Yeah, I didn't think about that. What could you do after the Passion of Christ? The Book of Mormon. That's hilarious. Good one, Kate. Oh, that'll be wild. Scenes in hell and stuff. I tell you what, Mel Gibson can make some crazy movies, man. What was that, Apocalypto? Woo! That was a wild movie. It's just one of those movies when you watch it, there's so many scenes in there that you will remember for the rest of your life, you know. You're just like, ah. So yeah, I could imagine Mel Gibson's hell scene. Oof. Yeah, that's something too, Kate. Yeah, we could kick balls upstairs. Yeah, Kate, I was thinking that too. I was like, all this crap we give Bowles, but man, he seems to be pretty good at hiring offensive coordinators. I mean, what was it he saw with Liam Cohen? You know, Canales is just, he's such a great talker. He just seems like a really good people person. But I wonder what it was with Cohen that made Bowles go, this is the guy. I'd love to know that thought process. But yeah, he seems to know offensive coordinators. Yeah, I think Bowles will retire at the end of this year, 2025, because he knows. I think he knows, that Cohn is going to take over Cohn, and he doesn't want to make it hard on everybody. And I think he's got 2 years left on his contract, so he'll be able to take the last year off, or they'll buy him out. We'll see. Do we have a chance to this season to no longer have the worst losing percentage in NFL history? Really? Wow. Because that's quite impressive. Because I remember when that came up a while back, looking at it and going, "Oh my gosh, it'll take us forever to get just to 500." Who will have the worst winning percentage? It's we didn't have just the worst winning percentage in the NFL. We had the worst winning percentage in all of professional sports. That'll be cool, man. That'll be great, Buck. And I will put a countdown clock on that. Rampage. Oh man. See, that's why you need football so you're not a menace to the neighborhood. Yeah, I when are we going to start doing draft stuff? Let's do that after Super Bowl. Oh, you predicted 13-4 this year? Oh my gosh, it's 8:30. Whoa. Yeah, yeah, that might have been it too. Yeah, fucking Cohen's relationship with Baker at the Rams. Yeah, I mean, Bowles might have asked Baker Mayfield, been like, "Hey, you got a coach you like?" And he was like, "Yeah, I like that Cohen guy. He was okay, and he was available." Yeah, yeah. There you go, Corey. That's probably what it was. Like said Bowles, we are hiring Canales, and then like said we are hiring. So you think it was Jason that did that? That'd be interesting. That would be interesting, MH. Yeah, we're giving Bowles credit for it when it might have been Jason Light. Don't know. Why are teams interviewing Sala for head coach? Yeah, that's a good question. I like him. I like him as a head coach. Jets are just that's just a. I mean, history has shown that Jet, Jets organization is just a mess. Always has been. Right now, it's one Bucks, two Cardinals, three Jags. Yeah, I think the Card. I'm not a big fan of the Cardinals. I'm not a big fan of the Jaguars either. The Timberwolves were actually the worst. I could have swore it was the Bucks, but Timberwolves are horrible, huh? Rampage will scare the neighborhood, man. Put your kids away. That's hilarious. All right, guys, I got to get off here. I didn't realize it was 8:30. It's been great talking with you, man. It's been a whole week. Uh, don't know what the live streaming schedule is going to be like for a little bit till we can figure out. Well, I'll probably do another one whenever there's news like this, of course. But after the games next week, maybe Monday or Tuesday, we'll do a live stream. But I haven't figured out a schedule yet. That's one of my big things on my to-do list is to figure out a good schedule for live streams during the off season. So if you have any ideas or suggestions, shoot me a message or leave a comment. If there's anything you want to see or specific days or whatever, let me know because I am working on that right now. Okay, that's a good one, Double. That would make sense. I guess Bowles watches college football. Saw you later. Well, thanks, Corey. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, we try. A lot of times we'll have therapy sessions in here too about anger management and relationships and all that stuff. We don't stick to strictly football. So if you ever got anything you want to get off your chest, we are here, brother. Buck, and you have a good one too. Tom. All right, guys. Y'all have a good one. And till next time, go Bucs.